Years ago, a print server outage hit before payroll. The console showed the Spooler service running, so first-line support kept restarting queues and clicking through snap-ins. The real problem was the disk. Almost no free space, so jobs landed and died. We lost time because every fact was looked at separately. A good PowerShell script would have said, if the service is running and disk space is low, call it a storage problem, not a service problem. That is why PowerShell if-else matters. Scripts are not useful until they can make a decision. The graphical tools are fine for one machine. They are terrible for a fleet. You cannot open services, event viewer, disk management, and a monitoring page on every server every morning and still call that administration. The naive script is not much better if it only dumps raw data. A list of service names, statuses, disk sizes, and event counts still pushes the judgment back onto a human. At scale, you need rules. If free space is healthy, say OK. If it is low, warn. If it is critical, page someone. That shape appears everywhere. Patch compliance, certificate age, backup status, and domain controller health. The poor shape is simple. If this test is true, run this block. Else if another test is true, run that block. Else is the fallback when nothing matched. The test is where PowerShell beginners get ambushed. PowerShell comparisons are written as operators. EQ for equals, NE for not equals, GT for greater than, like for wildcard pattern matching, and match for regular expression matching. Do not use double equals. That habit from other languages causes parser errors and wasted minutes. Once you learn these tests, you have the same mental model used by WhereObject, reporting scripts, health checks, and later automation. Here is the working toolkit. For exact comparisons, use -EQ and -NE. For numbers, dates, and sortable values, use -GT, plus its siblings -GE, -LT, and -LE when you need them. For text patterns with simple wildcards, use -like as in name -like SQL square. For regular expressions, use -match as in message -match failed error. Combine tests with -and -or, and reverse a test with -not. Always put $null on the left side. $null -EQ $object. That avoids a famous bug when the right side is a collection. If you have many named branches, switch is often clearer than 20 elseifs. Let's make this real with a morning storage check. You have a ticket asking whether file servers are running out of space. Read-only command first. Get sim instance, class name win32 logical disk, filter drive type equals 3. For each fixed disk, calculate %free, free space divided by size, times 100. Then decide. If %free is greater than 20, verdict is OK. Else if %free is greater than 10, verdict is warn. Else verdict is critical. That is not fancy, but it is the backbone of fleet administration. You can output computer name, device ID, size, free space, %free, and verdict. Now the help desk sees judgment, not just numbers. 4 things still bite admins. First, double equals is not the PowerShell comparison operator. Use -EQ. Second, put $null on the left. $null EQ $result. If $result is an array, $result EQ $null can return matching elements instead of a clean true or false, and your if statement may surprise you. Third, -like uses PowerShell wildcards, star and question mark. Fourth, -match uses regular expressions, which are more powerful and easier to misuse. Both Windows PowerShell 5.1 and PowerShell 7 are case-insensitive by default for these operators. If you need case-sensitive tests, use -CEQ, -CLike, or -CMatch. Also remember, an if statement is not monitoring, it is just decision logic. This lesson sits right between objects and filtering. You already know PowerShell returns objects with properties. If-else lets you interpret those properties. Next episode, WhereObject will use the same comparison operators to keep or discard objects in the pipeline. Later, Active Directory audits will use them to find disabled users, stale computers, risky group membership, and expired passwords. Group policy object reporting, event log triage, certificate checks, and access control list reviews all depend on the same pattern. Read data, compare properties, return a verdict. Learn it here slowly, because you will reuse it everywhere in the Foundations tier and far beyond. Here's a safe 10-minute exercise. Open PowerShell 7 on your workstation. Run $svc, get service, name Spooler, ErrorAction SilentlyContinue. Then write an if statement. If $null EQ $svc, output Spooler not found. else if $svc.Status EQ running, output Spooler is running. Else output the current status. Next, try a process filter. Get process piped to where object with CPU -GT100 and process name -like P. That is read only. You are not stopping services, changing registry keys, or touching production settings. The point is to practice comparison operators until the syntax feels normal. 3 beats to take away. First, PowerShell if-else is the shape of nearly every admin decision: healthy, warning, critical, or unknown. Second, PowerShell comparisons use operators like EQ, NE, GT, like, and match. Not double equals. Use like for wildcards and match for regular expressions. Third, combine tests with and, or, and not, and put $null on the left side of comparisons. When the branches multiply, consider switch before you build a wall of elseifs. Next, we use these same operators inside where object to filter the pipeline. New PowerShell episode daily on this channel.